After 8 wolf trial. Both of you stop. He's gone too far. I have done nothing. These false accusations cannot be borne. Says the vampire invading my territory and attacking my back. With a threatening growl, Skylar shifts into wolf form, snarling at Alexander, crouching for a strike. Skylar's gonna kill him. Never seen Exile. This is insane. Skylar's jaw can snap a person in two. Alexander is a full vampire mode, stronger than ever from drinking my blood. Vampire vs. Werewolf is not the monster movie I want to see tonight. As they square off on the attack, you take your life in your own hands and jump between them. Both of you stop before you kill each other. Back to your human forms now. You loop your thumb through the silver necklace holding in front of you threateningly. I'll use this if I have to. Lila. To your relief, they both stop in their tracks. They can feel the tension crackling between them like a live wire coursing through you. They stare each other down for one moment longer, both of their bodies tensed and ready to spring, and then Skylar shifts back to his human form. Do you have some sort of death wish? Do you? You two are so bent on tearing each other's throats out. You've forgotten all about Grace. She's hurt, and more violence is not the way to handle things. There's a crash in the trees, and Skylar and Alexander crouch, expecting another swarm of bats, but instead it's Hunter and some other members of the pack. Lila's right. Fighting isn't the right answer. Grace. Monty and a few other wolves rush over to Grace, tending to her wounds, while the others surround Alexander, their eyes glowing gold in their fury. I think fighting is the answer when one of our own is attacked. Come on, we got the vampire outnumbered. Let's take him down. Your packmate is on the ground bleeding, and you want to do more killing. Stand down, all of you. That's an order. You start to breathe a sigh of relief when a dark look passes across Skylar's face. I'll kill the vampire myself. Your heart nearly stops as Alexander lets out a bone-chilling hiss and crouches, waiting for Skylar to pounce. No! We have to follow protocol. According to the treaty, if a vampire trespasses on our territory or attacks a werewolf, they're required to stand trial before the pack. This is an outrage. I won't be put on trial by you mongrels. I have done nothing. The pack growls, and again, you jump between Alexander and the snarling werewolves, placing your hands on his chest. Alexander, I'll be here the whole time. You place a hand on his face, stroking his jawline with your thumb. I won't let them do anything to you. Thank you, Lila. Your support, it means more than you know. Still angry, Alexander thinks for a minute and grudgingly inclines his head. Very well. I will go through this farce simply because I respect the rules outlined in the treaty. But I would never hurt Grace, and you know it. Monty, Bay, take him to the amphitheater. The rest of you get Grace back to the base and make sure she's comfortable until the healer gets here. Gathers the rest of the pack for a conference, and you feel the tightness in your chest ease, but as you follow the groups back to the wolves' home, you worry. Alexander is right. In the pack's mind, he's already guilty. Getting them to accept he's innocent is not going to be easy. As you're getting ready for the trial, Hunter approaches you with a sympathetic smile. Lila, how are you doing? That was pretty intense. I'm okay, just anxious. Thank you for intervening, by the way. It was the right thing to do, though I can tell you're still upset. You care for Alexander, don't you? Yeah, I do. And I want to help him any way I can. He's my friend, and I don't want him to be torn apart by werewolves. If he's innocent, he won't be. But the pack's out for blood, Hunter. I'm worried they won't listen. Is there anything I can do or say to convince them that he didn't call those bats? Well, typically when a member of the pack stands trial, they have an advocate who's allowed to speak in their favor. Like a defense attorney? The werewolf version, yes. There's a traditional outfit the Advocate wears. If you speak at the trial in it, you'll show the pack you take our traditions seriously. It'll make them more willing to listen to your arguments and give Alexander the edge he needs. Not a bad outfit. I'd wear a plastic garbage bag if you told me it would help. Luckily, this outfit's much more stylish. Hunter brings you the outfit, and when you slip it on, and feel a surge of confidence and hope. You look like one of us. Except you're not even wearing it. I do, don't I? The pack's gonna have to take me seriously now. Let's get this show on the road. You start to follow Hunter when you notice Skylar waiting for you. You take his arm and pull him furiously to the side. Lila, the trial's about to begin. You have to listen to me. I was there, Skylar. I saw the whole thing and I know Alexander had nothing to do with it. So, what I want to know is, are you doing this because you've got a grudge against him? Or do you just not believe me? Skylar lets out a long sigh, gently stroking your arm. Of course I believe you. The problem is the pack doesn't. Skylar, it means a lot that you believe me. You rest your hand atop his and squeeze it, letting that touch linger. I think I know pretty damn well by now. I know you wouldn't lie about something like this. But can't you stop this? You're the Alpha. Sighing, he shakes his head and lets his hand fall. It's because I'm the Alpha that I have to let this trial go forward. It's my duty to show the pack that the law applies to everyone. Alphas aren't dictators, they're leaders. Leaders follow rules. Besides, it wouldn't be a good look for me siding with a vampire. So this has to happen, then. Skylar's eyes flicker to your outfit, his lips quirk up in a smile, and he runs his fingers along the furred collar. Look at you. You were born to be this pack, Lila. That means a lot to me. I just hope it's enough to save Alexander. Don't worry, they'll listen to you. They have to in this outfit. Come on, the trial can't begin until I'm there. Skylar leads you to an outdoor amphitheater that serves as the pack's official courtroom. Every inch of the space is crowded with werewolves. Angry werewolves. That's not good. He guides you to a seat in the front next to Hunter, just as Alexander is led to the center of the amphitheater. Alexander is stoic as he stands alone, but as his gaze falls to you, you can see the worry in his eyes. Alexander. Skylar rises to his feet, and the theater grows quiet. We're here today for the trial of Alexander, vampire Alexander Hyde, who stands accused of trespassing on wolf territory and attacking Grace Lawrence, a beloved member of the pack. The wolves growl and glare at Alexander, who stares defiantly back. We have an important guest joining us who may be able to shed light on the incident. They are on their way, but in their absence, we'll proceed. Let's begin. Wait. You stand and clear your throat, and the entire pack turns to stare at you. No pressure. I'll be acting as advocate for the accused. But you're not a werewolf. Pack law, Monty. If she's wearing the ceremonial robe, she's allowed to speak on the accused's behalf. Hunter's correct. Lila Griffin will speak for the vampire. Over Skylar's shoulder, Alexander gives you a grateful nod. Thank you. His gaze skims over the fur lining in your outfit, and his mouth almost quirks into a smile before his expression goes still once more. Skylar turns to face Alexander, his expression growing hard, his voice rings across the amphitheater, and all the wolves snap to attention. Alexander Hyde, what were you doing in the middle of a wolf territory, knowing the area's entirely off limits? I was only... You broke the treaty, a treaty that's been in place for 100 years. If you'd permit me to... Tell us what you were doing here, vampire! You bolt from your seat. Skylar. Let him finish. Skylar's eyes flicker to you for a moment, then he nods and gestures for Alexander to speak. Alexander takes a deep breath, struggling to control his temper. As I was trying to say, our agreement was for Lila to spend her day here under your protection, and at night come to my castle so I could watch over her. Tonight she did not arrive. I was concerned that some harm had befallen her, so I decided to search the area. Wolf territory was the logical place to begin. You were right about that, anyway. Skylar. He puts his hands up in surrender. Withdrawn. Alexander looks to you for a moment, then takes a deep breath and continues the story. I trespassed onto Wolf territory only to ensure Lila was safe. I think you'd agree I had good reason, Skylar, as her safety is as important to you as it is to me, or so you say. Skylar growls, his eyes flashing wolf yellow a moment before he wrestles his anger under control. Whatever your intentions were, it still doesn't excuse you breaking the treaty. I wouldn't have had to break the treaty if you hadn't prevented her from coming back to the castle. She made her choice on her own. So it was anger and jealousy that prompted the attack on Grace, or was it fear of the consequences after she'd caught you trespassing on her land? I did not attack Grace. This is getting out of hand. Hey! Startled by the interruption, they turn their attention towards you. You guys need to focus on the facts. This isn't about personal grudges, this is about finding out what happened to Grace. Now, stop snipping and start asking some real questions. Fine. Tell us what happened, Alexander. Lila and I were walking to the border, so I could return home. We encountered Grace a moment later. A swarm of bats descended upon us. Did you call them? I certainly did not. Then who was it? I mean, vampires are known for their ability to call bats. What's Batman, then? I've been saving that for a week. I can only assume it was the entity that's been plaguing Lila. If it was the entity, why didn't the bats go for Lila? Why the werewolf? Why did it go for Peter? Skylar, you know it never attacks me directly. It always goes for the people around me. And he knows that too. It's the perfect alibi. It's not an alibi if it's the truth, damn it. BS! Kill him, Skylar! Do Hidden Grove a favor! Alexander rises, his eyes turning a deadly shade of red. He stands tall, unmoving in the face of the pack's anger, his expression cold as iron. Oh no. You hurry to Alexander's side, place your hands on his face, and turn his gaze to you. Alexander, don't let it get to you. It's just their anger talking. I know you'd never hurt Grace. Do you think they care? This is no longer a trial, Lila. It's an execution. They've already made up their minds. Alexander, think it through. If you attack Skylar, the pack will attack you. It's a bloodbath. I'm not letting that happen. Everyone, I'm calling a recess. You can't call a recess! I can. Everybody go cool off. We'll meet back here in 20 minutes. Agreed, Skylar? Agreed. Alexander? You lock eyes with him, his rage just a hair's breadth from exploding, but to your relief, his fangs retract. He takes a breath and nods. Very well. The werewolves file out of the amphitheater, grumbling and shooting dark looks at Alexander, who's still barely keeping his cool. Skylar, on the other hand, looks ready to go another round. Men's egos. There's gotta be a way to make them chill out, and if anyone can make it happen, it's me. You jump onto the dice, grab each of them by the arms, one hot in your hand, the other cool. You two with me now. Oh, okay. You drag them outside the amphitheater and into the woods. Where are we going? Someplace you won't hurt anyone, and so you can get your ass whooped by her. Despite your orders, though, they continue staring daggers at each other, neither willing to make the first move. You coming, or are you just going to stand there all day looking mad? A moment, then Skylar smirks and gives Alexander a sarcastic nod of his head. After you. Yes, you were. You son of a... Oh, stop it, I swear. Dealing with the two of you is like babysitting a couple violent toddlers. Get going, the both of you. Uh-huh. Still growling, they follow you to a quiet glade, far enough away from the pack that you won't be interrupted. What are we doing here? Blowing off steam. I'm gonna work the aggression out of the two of you, even if I have to break you. Now, I want to see some demonstrations of supernatural strength. Really? You look around at the surrounding environment. How about... Alexander, you chuck the boulder as far as you can, as the lady wishes. Scarlet rolls his eyes as Alexander easily lifts the massive granite chunk over his head. His movements are fluid, graceful, and you can't tear your eyes away. As he heaves the boulder into the air, it smashes through the trees and lands with a crash somewhere in the far distance. Impressive move. That vampire strength almost makes it look easy. Please, it's not a boulder. This is a boulder. Skylar lifts a stone the size of a car and chucks it hard into the dark woods like it's nothing more than a bag of feathers. Top that, old man. Okay, since you two seem to want to one-up each other, how about a little friendly competition? Emphasis on the word friendly. I'm down. Anything that'll prove I'm better than him. In no lifetime are you better than I am. Prove it. How about you race each other to the castle and back? Onto his territory. Is it me you're frightened of, or losing? Werewolves aren't afraid of anything. In a blur, they're off, and even from a distance you can hear them crashing across the landscape, cursing at each other. Laughing, you cup your hands over your mouth and shout. Keep it clean, you two! The gust of air blows back your hair. You blink and the two of them are standing at your side, grinning. I believe I've won. Oh, only because you cheated. Okay, what's next? Let's see. For the next 10 minutes, you run them through their paces until they're both panting and exhausted, and to your shock, laughing. You're not as slow as I thought you'd be, old man. You have much more self-control than a dog off its leash, which is a low bar, but still not bad. Now that you two are done going at each other's throats, it's finally time for me to say my piece. You can't let us catch our breaths first? No. I like having the two of you weak and at my mercy. I'm always at your mercy. Could you kiss her ass a little more? I think you missed a spot. Skylar. Yes, ma'am. Skylar's so like me. Plenty of sarcasm where that came from. You need to take this seriously. Snipping at Alexander during the trial just to get revenge is beneath you. I wasn't snipping. I was asking hard questions. You were being petty. Look, I know you're upset about Grace. We all are, but you're the alpha, Skylar. Act like it. Skylar huffs out of breath, and Alexander crosses his arms over his chest, lips curling in a wry smile. I must admit, this scolding is quite entertaining. Alexander, don't you start. Oh, don't think you're off the hook, buddy. I've got a few choice words for you, too. You were being needlessly hostile. I was defending my honor. You were letting him get under your skin. Losing your temper is not the way to prove your innocence, Alexander. Alexander's back stiffens and his jaw tensing. I mean, if I hadn't called a recess, you would have torn each other to shreds. You and I both know you're innocent, but the back is worried about Grace, and they need their chance to learn the truth for certain. I do understand that, the drive to do right by a loved one. And did you two ever stop to think that if you killed each other, there'd be no one left to protect me from the entity? Alexander and Skylar blink in surprise. They share a chastened glance, and you think you might have finally gotten through to them. Or, at the very least, they're not on the verge of homicide anymore. Baby steps. Okay, recess over. Let's go back and get this trial done with. And remember, no more going after each other. And with a grand sweep of your arm, you motion for them to walk ahead of you back to the amphitheater. But as you proceed through the woods, you find yourself looking from one to the other. Alexander's movements are graceful, smooth, while Alexander's strides are powerful and confident. You're mesmerized, unable to look away. Oh, come on. We'll go with Kiss Skylar for now. You think back to your steamy encounter earlier, and the memory makes your body pulse with desire. I have to have another taste of him. Letting Alexander get ahead, you grab Skylar's hand and yank him around. What? Shh. And with a wicked smile, you pull him down for a hard, hot kiss. He places a hand on your lower back, pulling your hips flush as he teases you with his tongue. You give his lip a quick nip before taking a step back, leaving him the tingling sensation to remember you by. Skylar gives you a cocky grin. I knew you liked me best. Oh, shut up. I never said that. I was just letting off a little steam of my own. Come on. When you return to the amphitheater, you find the trial's important guest has arrived. Peter? You were expecting Santa Claus? No, but you better be bearing gifts in the form of some good news. This thing's been going off the rails. Got any clues for us? No clues, just fey powers. Peter can tap into people's minds. He came to access Grace's memory so he can finally get to the bottom of what happened. Yes, about that. I just checked on her and I don't think she's recovered enough for this sort of thing. It can take a toll if you're not physically up to it. But since Alexander was directly involved, looking at his memories would be just as helpful. You wish to access my memories? I won't look at anything other than what happened tonight. Alexander pauses, and for the first time since you've known him, he looks visibly shaken. Alexander's such a private person, making himself that vulnerable even to Peter must be his worst nightmare. I can do it. You're only a witness. He's the accused. We need the information from him, and we'll get it any way we can. Yeah, what's he gotta hide? Peter can tap into my memories. I was there for the whole thing, and I can prove Alexander's innocence. Skylar takes a deep breath and looks around at the assembled pack, hesitating. Skylar, please. You take his hand and hold his gaze, seeing his resolve crumble the longer he looks at you. Okay, I'll allow it. Great. Lila, come sit over here and just relax. Peter presses you down into a chair, stands behind you, resting his fingers gently on your temples. Is this gonna be something you've done on a human before? On a human, no. They tend to be a tad anxious when it comes to fey powers. You're not turning skittish on me, are you? Of course not. I've been living with vampires and werewolves. It'd be pretty hypocritical of me to suddenly balk at a little fey hocus-pocus. I trust you, Peter. That's good to hear. It means you still don't suspect that I've been rifling through your things every time you leave your room. Now close your eyes and think about what happened tonight. As you shut your eyes, you feel an odd tingling in the back of your head. You take a deep breath and focus your mind on the sequence of events leading up to the attack. Following Alexander outside. You talk in a treetop. walking him to the border of wolf territory, meeting Grace, the bats swooping in for the kill. It's worse than I remember. As you concentrate on the memory of a malicious creature screeching and swirling around you, you feel a separate presence watching just at the edge of your consciousness. And with a sudden jolt, your eyes open and you're snapped back to the present. Peter takes his hands off your temples and steps away. Well, Alexander definitely had nothing to do with the attack. You look at Alexander, who's breathing a sigh of relief. He meets your gaze and smiles, mouthing thank you. Lila's nasty demon friend called them. I could feel her evil little claws all over this thing. I should skedaddle, in case it sensed me watching, but I've got a couple of demonology books that could give us a clue of where to start looking. Thank you, Peter. Don't thank me till you get my bill. Peter disappears with a pop, and you turn to Skylar, but he's conferring with Hunter and the other wolves. You take a seat next to Alexander. Don't worry. I got your back. You slip your hands in his, giving it a tight, reassuring squeeze. They'll have to get through me to get to you. A human protecting a vampire. What has this world come to? Hey, humans were protecting vampires while they slept, don't forget that. You're living in the 21st century now, Alexander. Get used to it. Several more minutes tick by, then Skylar nods and steps up to address the gathering pack. It is the opinion of the Werewolf Council and mine as Alpha that Alexander Hyde did not cause the attack on Grace Lawrence. He is exonerated. But if he ever trespasses on our territory again, there will be severe consequences. This trial is adjourned. The wolves mutter amongst themselves as you all shuffle out of the amphitheater, still shooting suspicious glares at Alexander, but even though he remains stoic, you can see he's seething. Skylar places his hand on your lower back, not so subtly, and guiding you towards his house, and he gives Alexander a smug grin. You know where the border is, vampire. Don't let the trees hit you on your way out. I've had enough of your arrogance, Wolf. I consented to your outrageous trial, ritual, but you and I are far from done. The night is not over yet. Lila will be coming back with me to my castle, and I will not let you steal even an hour of my time with her. I'm right here! You can't just trade me back and forth like a piece of property. I choose where I want to go, understood? He can't protect you, Lila. Last time you were with him alone, the entity attacked Grace. Grace is a werewolf. She can handle it. But if those bats had gone after you, you would have been torn to shreds. Face the facts, vampire boy can't help keep you safe. Neither could Grace, and she's a werewolf. You must have missed that fact. I can't keep her safe. You didn't even realize she'd slipped out of your bed. Skylar snarls, his eyes flashing yellow as a wave of emotions played across his face. Outrage, anger, embarrassment. You know, maybe it's time you admit the real reason you want her, Alexander. And what would that be? Her blood. Skylar. That's unfair, Skylar. I offered Alexander my blood. He didn't take it. He manipulated you into it, and that's what vampires do, or maybe he wants to turn you like he did his former lover. How'd that end, by the way? Oh, no. Alexander lets out an angry hiss and exposing his fangs, and sucks in a deep breath, his lips curl into a knowing smirk. Oh, now I understand. She's your fated mate, isn't she? That's none of your business. You reek of mating pheromones, Wolf. I've been alive a long time, and I have known many alphas. The ones that didn't hold on to their mate, they didn't remain alpha for long. Are you implying I only want her so I can stay in power? I'm not implying it, I'm stating it outright. Oh, God. Stop hurting each other. Don't you realize all this fighting over territory and who did what to whom and me is just driving me away? Lila. No, I don't want to hear it. You two don't give a damn about me at all, do you? All you care about is your stupid ancient grudge match. I'm done being a pawn in your game of supernatural pick me. I'm out of here. You spin and run heedlessly away. The need to escape, the pain constricting your heart, nearly overwhelming, but still something is pulling you back. My whole life I've always been able to pick up and leave when the relationship went bad. But this time, I'm falling for them, really falling for them into a deep... I'm in too deep now. I can't walk away. Suddenly Alexander darts at your side with Skylar only steps behind. Lila, I apologize. I'll escort you home. Her home is with me in the pack. Oh my god, you two didn't realize 2 minutes ago, did you? But Alexander ignores him, taking your arm and pulling you behind him as he strides towards the castle. Alexander, it's almost sunrise. You need to get back to the castle fast. I'll only slow you down. No, please, stay here and keep arguing. I want to see the sun burn you to a crisp. Besides, it's my time with Lila, and she clearly wants to stay with me. Stop making things worse, Skylar. You can't help pissing all over the carpet, can you, Wolf? Just because your farce of a trial wasted most of the night doesn't mean I'm handing Lila over early. Just then, you catch a flash of metal in the underbrush, just as Alexander takes a step forward. He doesn't see it. Alexander, watch! Right into the werewolf's silver bear traps. Alexander drops, clutching his leg where the silver teeth pierce his ankle, burning his flesh. You can practically hear it sizzling. Alexander! But his screams only grow louder as the rising sun appears on the horizon. No, he's going to burn. Suddenly a chilling laugh comes from everywhere and nowhere, and you look around to find the source. Your gaze lands on Alexander's castle in the distance. In an upper window, the entity is staring down at you, grinning with malice. I mean, how can we tell it's grinning? It's just black. Seriously. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Aside from that, oh my god. Oh. Listen, I'm a guy, and even I know this is petty as shit. This is one of the reasons why I kind of, like... I abhorred high school and college. I abhorred it. Because it's just the D-measuring contest. It's my biggest muscles. It's my biceps. It's my flexing. It's the maturity of a lot of men, air quotes, by the way. I don't care how old you are, it never makes you mature. This need to puff out your chest and be the peacock and all this other shit. Listen, like, I'm just gonna slap it down there as hard as I possibly can. 95% of the boys in this world, and I mean boys, because some of them want to call themselves men, it's minute. It's just... Your small pee-pee energy is just infuriating. Like, I feel for women in this instance. I really do. Because I would always, like I said, I would see it in high school, I'd see it in college, I would see it. I see it every day. I'm gonna be honest with you. And it gets so infuriating because there's always the small pee-pee energy of needing to compete in gaming and in social, like, relevancy. And it's an everyday occurrence. I'm not even gonna kid. You know, content creators have to strut their stuff and be like, see, I have more followers than you. I have more subscribers than you. I have more this. You have a dead channel. You have the... And I'm just so tired of it. You take it all away. You take away what they brag about. Just wipe off the slate. Just wipe it off the chalkboard. And at the end of the day, if you remember Voldemort, right? The little baby-looking thing in the cradle, right? Or on the ground. Or there's a lot of other things. You look at Ultron when he was bare nothing. You take it all away, and they are nothing. They are nothing. Where you can take, like, for instance, me. You can take what little I have materialistic wise, and you can take what little I have in other ways. I still will stand with my head held high and be like, okay, and? Like, you can't do it. The only time that you should ever really puff out your chest, and this is just a pro tip for you, gents, And don't get me wrong, I know, like, a lot of the ladies, even though they'll be like, oh, I so agree with you, I can't stand it. Listen, you would rather, let me be honest with you, a lot of you, in your heart of hearts, if you were to choose between the peacock strutting his shit and puffing out his chest and everything else, and some nerdy, geeky guy, who just seems inferior, a lot of you would go with the guy who puffs out his chest and all that other shit because, especially, getting to know them and the alpha wannabe, radiance versus what else do you have, right? A lot of you would probably pick the guy who, and let's be honest, the bad boy mantra stands to this day. A lot of women pick the bad boy, and it's your thing, right? It's your thing. Good luck calling out me and what would be my weakness. Good luck. I will actually challenge each and every one of you. Don't go coffee, because that is. But anyway, I'm talking about women. Figure out what my weakness is. This is my challenge. Figure out what my weakness is. Good luck. Seriously, good luck. You know what? Invest the whole internet in it. I don't care. Because you will never find out my weakness. You will never. But to me, it's the only time you should really puff out your chest is when a woman needs you to. Like a guy's bothering her, or someone's, bothering your family, or someone's, getting handsy at all with your woman, whatnot. That is when you release the wolves from the cage, okay? That's when you grab that man by the wrist and just squeeze as hard as you can to the point of breaking it. And just go, did you just touch my lady? And you just bring it to the edge of breaking his wrist with just one more squeeze. That is when your woman wants to see that. Okay, let's be honest. Some of you are going, yeah, no, that sounds kind of pretty right now. And some of you are also going, no, that sounds wrong. You can do that. And yet at the same time, you wouldn't stop him. You'd be like, So anyway, that's just my thought. This shit is petty. This shit is petty. Right? It really is. Otherwise, that's just my thoughts. I grow so tired of it. Women do the same. I won't shy away from it. Women do the same with guys. If two women are competing for a guy, they'll just remove every road stop, every sign, everything, and they won't do the same as guys, right? You guys will bring out that appeal. You'll bring out, who, what, when, where, and why. Whoever can bag him first is the winner. And again, then there's people like me who exist. Good luck. Again, good luck figuring out my weakness, let alone figuring me out. Because you can't. I have made myself such an enigma that you can't do it. No one has, there's only been actually one person who's ever tried to figure me out. A lot of you don't even care to hear me talk, let alone read these stories. I'm challenging you. Most of you, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch y'all later. Peace out.